Welcome to The Explainer, where we break down big topics using the source material itself. Today, we're diving deep into the very core of what makes you tick, your brain's own motivation system.
Seriously, think about it for a second. Why do you get lost in a hobby or work on a project late into the night? There's no paycheck, no prize on the line. What's really going on there? Let's start with this question, because it gets right to the heart of what drives us when nobody's watching.
So you've got two main flavors of motivation. Extrinsic, that's the easy one. It's all about the external stuff, right? The salary, the trophy. But what we're talking about today is intrinsic motivation. That's the powerful internal drive that comes from inside you. That's the just for the love of it force.
To really get this, we're going to use a metaphor from the research. I want you to imagine your motivation system as an engine. It's always running, always learning from what you do, and it's literally building the reality that you experience.
Okay, so let's dive in. It's time to pop the hood on that engine and see what kind of fuel this thing actually runs on. And the answer might not be what you think. The main fuel is dopamine. But hold on, because here's where most people get it wrong. Dopamine is not just the pleasure chemical. Its real job is way cooler than that. It's the chemical of anticipation, of prediction. It's what makes you want to do something in the first place.
See, your brain is basically a prediction machine. It is constantly running this little calculation in the background called reward prediction error. It's always asking, okay, how did that go compared to what I thought would happen? And the answer to that question, well, that's what drives almost all of your learning.
And this creates this amazing learning loop. If an outcome is way better than you expected, boom, you get a spike of dopamine. Your brain basically says, whoa, that was awesome, let's do that again. If it's worse, dopamine levels drop, telling your brain, maybe let's not prioritize that next time. It's this simple feedback that sculpts what you want over time.
And this whole operation is a team effort. You've got these key players in your brain running the show. The dopaminergic midbrain, it's handling the predictions. Your prefrontal cortex is kind of like the accountant, weighing the reward against how much effort it'll take. And the amygdala helps decide your response based on just how valuable that reward feels.
So, at the end of the day, on a neural level, your brain is just constantly running a cost-benefit analysis. It's asking, is the effort worth the reward? And by the way, this is the completely valid neurobiological reason why some days staying on the couch just wins. The perceived cost of getting up simply outweighs the anticipated reward. It's not laziness, it's brain math.
So, how does this engine get better? I mean, it's not static. It doesn't come off the assembly line fully programmed. It learns, it adapts. It's constantly upgrading itself based on your life.
This brings us to one of the most foundational ideas in all of neuroscience, Hebbian learning. The famous saying is, neurons that fire together, wire together. And it sounds simple, but this idea is so profound. It's how patterns get physically burned into your brain.
Think about what this actually means. Every single time you do something you find intrinsically motivating, you are physically reinforcing the neural pathways for it. You are literally building a brain that is better and more eager to do that thing again. You're paving a super highway for that motivation.
And if that wasn't mind-blowing enough, it gets even deeper. Your brain doesn't just learn, it actually learns how to learn. It's a concept called metaplasticity. Based on your history, your brain literally adjusts how easy it is to change its own connections, making you more efficient at learning what it is that motivates you. It's wild.
So what's the grand finale here? What's the result of all this firing and wiring and learning? Well, it's not just about what you do, it's about the very world you experience. This engine builds your reality.
The big output of this motivational engine is a set of what we call mental models. Now, don't think of these as just stored information. No, they are your brain's internal blueprints, active simulations that you use to understand everything, and, most importantly, to predict what's going to happen next.
And these models are just incredible. They're predictive, letting you run what-if scenarios entirely in your head. They are totally adaptive, always being updated by new things you experience. And they're emergent. They just naturally arise out of all those little dopamine learning loops. Your mental model of the world is completely unique because your motivational history is unique.
Okay, now here's a real twist from the research. A huge amount of this whole process happens totally automatically, way below your conscious awareness. Some studies even suggest your brain starts the process of an action before you're even consciously aware you've decided to do it. It's like you have this automated will running the show in the background.
All right, let's zoom back out from the deep neuroscience for a second. Let's connect all this back to the stuff we all deal with every single day, like willpower and our general mental well-being.
You know, when this motivation engine is running smoothly, we experience that as willpower, as focus, the ability to stick with our goals. But when the system is sputtering, well, that can show up as mental fatigue, poor self-regulation, or just that awful feeling of being completely stuck.
And you can really see just how critical this system is when you look at mental health. Addiction, in many ways, is a hijacking of this entire reward system. Depression is often characterized by a major drop in motivated behavior. And something like chronic stress can just throw a wrench in the whole machine, making everything feel erratic.
So, if we boil it all down, what are the big takeaways? 1. Motivation is not some mystical force. It's a biological process. 2. And this one is so important, it is learned, which means it can be retrained. 3. The system literally builds your internal model of reality. And 4. Keeping this engine healthy is absolutely fundamental to your overall well-being.
And that really leaves us with one final, pretty powerful thought. This science doesn't just explain how we are. It opens up this incredible possibility of consciously shaping who we want to become. If you understand the engine, you can start to become a much, much better driver.